Welcome back to Applied Algebra. In this video, we're going to start talking about the metric system, which is what most of the world uses, except for the US and one small little country. The best thing about the metric system is it's base 10, which makes it really easy to convert amongst each of the units. We're going to have two parts of this metric system. We have this video, and then we're going to have a follow-up video which talks about some more of it. The basic units that are used in the metric system are the meter, which is used for length, the kilogram, which is used for mass. Second is used for time, which it is also used in our customary system. And then you have some other units that you can see down here. Some of the other ones that are more common are liters. If you are drinking out of any kind of bottle, it not only will have our ounces on it, but it will have the liters on it. We have cubic meter, which is more like if you're doing something larger like a swimming pool. Watts if you're doing any kind of power, or joules, or energy. Now, when you're using the metric system, the thing that's really important is these are the prefixes that help you know where you're at in the metric system, because you have your basic unit, which would be like your meter, your liter, your gram, and then you're going to move accordingly. If you have a larger unit, these are the ones that are above the basic unit, and the ones that are below the basic unit are smaller units. So the first thing we're going to do is just kind of get used to working within this system. So the first question says, give the metric prefix for 1 million. So I'm just going to come up to this previous chart, look up 1 million, and the metric prefix is mega. So we'll go ahead and write down mega. And then you will practice doing that same type of thing. The next one wants to know what is the SI unit, and that's just what is the abbreviation for the prefix deca. So again, we're going to use the same table. We're going to look up deca, and so its symbol or abbreviation is DA. We have to get used to knowing what these symbols are, these abbreviations, so that we can read them. Example 3, write the abbreviation for 36 microamperes. Now, what we have here is we have a prefix, which is the micro, and then we have the actual unit of measurement, which is the amperes, or we tend to call them just amps. So we're going to have two units. We're going to have one symbol for the micro and one symbol for the amperes. So here's micro. It is this Greek symbol, which is mu. It's kind of like a U with a tail in the front. And we have to go look up what amperes abbreviates as, and here it is, and it's a capital A. When I write this down, 36 microamperes would be 36 microamperes. So this is what it looks like. It's its abbreviation, and of course we have to be able to go the other way. If I see this mu with a capital A, I have to realize that it is microamperes. Number 4, write the unit or the abbreviation. We're going to write it out this time for mm. So the first letter is the prefix. The second letter is what your measurement is in. So I'm going to look for a little m, because we do have a big M, so we have to make sure we know the difference. The little m is milli. I'm going to come up above and look up what little m stands for in the unit, and that is a meter. So 2 little m's is 85 millimeters. The big thing to remember is the first letter is the prefix and the second letter is the unit. Now what I did here is I took the third table that had the basic unit and all the abbreviations, and I've turned it, so instead of it being vertical, I've turned it so it's horizontal. And the reason I did that is I think it makes it much easier to convert in this whole base 10 unit of the metric system. Everything to the left on this system are the larger units, and everything on the right is the smaller units. Now number 5 says change 1 hm, h is a hecto, and it wants us to change from a hectometer to a meter. Now the basic unit, those are your meters, your grams, and your liters, or your amps, your volts, any of those things, those are basic units. When it says hm, what I'm doing here is we're going to travel from the H to the M. So start always at your what you know the units about, and I'm traveling to basic unit of M. So I'm going to go 1, 2, and notice I moved to the right. The number 1 has the decimal right to the right of it. I'm going to move that decimal 2 places to the right because that's what I did up in my chart up here. I'm filling these empty spaces with zeros. So 1 hectometer is the same or equal to 100 meters. By having this chart working in this horizontal direction, all I have to do is move the decimal accordingly, which is why I really like that. Okay, I'm going to erase this so I can do the next problem. Number 6 says change 125 millimeters to centimeters. So 125, the decimal is to the right. I'm moving from milli, little m, to little c. Little m to little c is only 1 unit, and it's 1 to the left. So I'm going to move the decimal place 1 to the left. 125 millimeters is equal to 12.5 centimeters. All a matter of just moving the decimal. Look at number 7. This time we're changing micrograms to milligrams. Always looking for those prefixes, micro to milli. Micro is here and milli is here. So 1, 2, 3. Now you might be asking, why do you have some blank squares or rectangles in there? There are actual prefixes in there. They're just not used as often. And so instead of having you memorize things that aren't used very often or have to get used to them, I left them blank, but you do still have to remember that there are symbols in there, so there are units you are skipping over. So to go from micro to milli, we moved 1, 2, 3 to the left. Taking the number 1, which has a decimal to the right of it, I'm going to move that decimal 3 to the left. 1, 2, 3. In this case, 1 is filling one of those spaces, so I only have 2 zeros to fill in. 1 microgram is the same as 0.001 milligrams. Since it's all base 10, it's just a matter of moving the decimal one direction or the other, which is why I really like the metric system. Now, you'll notice on this one in number 8, change 1 cubic meter to cubic centimeters. Everything we've done before has been just to the power of 1. Since it's to a power of 3, whatever movement I do, I have to do it 3 times. In number 9, they're squared, so on that problem I have to do whatever twice. So the exponent is telling you to do it that many times. We're moving from meters to centimeters. Meters is a basic unit. I'm moving from there to centi, so that's C, 1, 2. So I'm moving over 2 places. And I move 2 to the right. One has the decimal to the right. Now I'm moving 2 to the right, so 1, 2. Now that's only the first one. Remember, I have an exponent of 3, so whatever I do, I have to do it 3 times. I've done it once, now I've done it twice, now I've done it 3 times. All of those blanks get filled with zeros. Looks like I have 6 zeros. So 1 cubic meter is equivalent to 1,000,000 cubic centimeters. And a cubic centimeter is much smaller than a cubic meter, so it makes sense that you would need a large number of them to be equivalent. Very similar type of problem in number 9, but this time it's squared. Instead of doing whatever movement we're doing 3 times, we're going to do that same movement twice. Let's go back up to our horizontal chart. We're moving from centimeters to millimeters. Centimeters to millimeters. Centimeters, we're moving 1 to the right. Again, the number 1 has a decimal to the right of the 1. We just said we're moving 1 to the right. So for the first one, and now for the second one, because there's an exponent of 2, we're filling those with zeros. So 1 square centimeter is the same as 100 square millimeters. Now you only get to do that nice movement of the decimal when you're in the same basic unit. So meter, meter, gram, gram, liter, liter, so on. In number 10, we're going from square meters to hectares. Now I just realized I don't have that on this chart. So that's actually something I'm going to have to look up. Now, I don't have it for you, but in the back of your book, which I do have for you on the next video, is a chart that has square meters to hectares, and so I apologize for that. It says 1 hectare is 10,000 square meters. So I'm going to write that on here for us. 1 hectare is 10,000 square meters. Now, even though we're in the metric system, this sometimes happens. The hectare is the metric system's version of our acre. Since they're not in the same unit, I have to go back to the idea of the unit analysis. So I'm going to have to go back to this using the table as we did in section 1.9, the previous video. We're given 85,000 square meters. I don't have anything on the bottom since it's a single unit. Here is my conversion. I have to make sure that whatever I have on the bottom is the same unit as the top unit on the opposite. Since I have square meters up here, I have to make sure I put square meters on the bottom. And those 10,000 square meters are equal to 1 hectare, so they make up the one part. My square meters cancel, leaving me in hectares. Go ahead and multiply straight across. 85,000 times 1 over the 10,000 that's in the bottom. 85,000 times 1 is 85,000. I still have the 10,000 in the bottom. I go ahead and do my dividing. The nice thing about when you divide both things with zeros, you can cross out. So it's really just 85 over 10, which would be 8.5 hectares. You might want to go ahead and skip to the chart for the third video and print it out prior to this. I should have made sure it was available ahead of time for these types of problems. If you have any questions, send me a quick email and I'll get back to you. Have a good one.